In a world where shadows often carry unspoken secrets, a young boy named Noah resides in a foster home that feels both like a refuge and a stark reminder of his abandonment. Each morning, he confronts a heavy ache in his chest, a constant reminder of the choice his mother made to leave him behind. The corners of his room, cold and empty, echo the silence of a heart that has known rejection. Outside the home, the streets hum with life, but he remains invisible within their currents, lost among the laughter and warmth that he remembers only in fragments. Noah dreams of escape, often wandering through familiar streets where memories linger in forgotten spaces. Among these remnants of his childhood stands a rusty shipping container on the outskirts of town, a relic of the past that piques his curiosity. One grey afternoon, pulled by a mix of loneliness and intrigue, he steps inside. The air is musty, thick with dust and hidden stories, and beams of light filter through cracks in the metal, illuminating a forgotten world. As he brushes away cobwebs and debris, something catches his eye. A dusty leather-bound diary tucked away in a corner, its cover worn but inviting. With hesitant fingers, he opens the diary, inhaling the faint scent of aged paper. The pages are yellowed, bearing the delicate script of a girl named Lily, whose words speak of heartache and desire. As Noah reads, he discovers a deep connection in her longing. Her entries reveal dreams of flying and a profound bond with a sibling, tales of separation that reverberate with his own feelings of loss. Each line captures the essence of his struggles, echoing the silence of his heart and inviting him to reflect on the shadows he has endured. As he immerses himself in Lily's narrative, something stirs within him. Her resilience and yearning resonate deeply, illuminating the path to confront his own pain. Noah feels a flicker of hope ignite, urging him to seek the fragmented pieces of his past. The diary, once a solitary object, transforms into a bridge between their stories, a connection that helps him uncover his own spirit. In the quiet of that abandoned container, with each page he reads, Noah makes an unspoken promise to Lily. He vows to honor her memory by embarking on a journey of discovery, searching for the connections he so desperately craves. Perhaps, in unraveling the mysteries of his own heart, he will find the love and family that he believes he has lost forever. If you also feel this ache in your chest, consider liking and subscribing. Someone else might need to hear this story today. Through Lily's words, Noah begins to understand that healing doesn't erase the scars, but rather reveals the strength hidden within them, guiding him toward a future where he no longer feels invisible. Noah sat cross-legged in the dim light of the shipping container, the diary cradled on his lap like a precious treasure. Each word he'd read resonated in the quiet space wrapping around him, bringing warmth to the chilly corners of his heart. He closed his eyes, allowing memories to rise like smoke from an extinguished flame, swirling around him until the present moment faded into echoes of the past. In these moments, he could almost hear his mother's laughter, the sound like music drifting through the air. He remembered the small home they had shared, vivid and colorful in his mind. His mother would sing softly while cooking, the sweet aroma of cookies curling through the air, wrapping him in warmth. Those memories felt distant now, as if they belonged to someone else, yet they held the light of a life once filled with love. But everything changed drastically one fateful day, ushering in a torrent of emotions he had struggled to repress. The distant wail of sirens swept through the air that afternoon, a shrill noise that shattered his innocence. He watched as uniformed strangers filled their home, their faces inscrutable and stern. With panic gripping his heart, he clung to his mother's leg, feeling her warmth as she knelt down to reassure him. But the comfort in her embrace unraveled moments later when, with a shattering finality, she was torn away, leaving him clutching at memories that would grow increasingly fragile. The following weeks blurred into months, the loss sinking deeper than he could ever have imagined. He found himself in an orphanage, a stark contrast to the bright warmth of his previous life. The institutional walls were cold and unwelcoming, and the air felt heavy with resignation. Noah quickly learned to put on a brave face, but each day felt like a battle against loneliness. He moved through the shift of his surroundings quietly, never making too many waves, allowing time to blur him into another shadow within the crowded orphanage. For a child who yearned for connection, every new home felt fleeting. He was shuffled from one foster family to another, each time hoping to find a place where he belonged. Each promise of love felt like a house of cards collapsing with every disappointment. He gained glimpses of companionship with other foster children, but those relationships were as fragile as gossamer threads, easily broken under the weight of eventual separations. Amidst this tumult, Noah clung to fragments of friendship, moments of shared laughter etched against the backdrop of sadness, yet they were never lasting. They'd play their games, telling each other stories that opened the wounds of their lives, only to be reminded of the reality that had fractured their existence. He longed for a sibling, someone to share the weight of their mutual heartache, yet he was often reminded that he had been severed from those bonds, lost to a fate he couldn't control. As he flipped through the diary, Lily's words began to echo within him, each entry a reflection of his own despair. Her dreams of the sky and kinship resonated deeply, stirring emotions long suppressed. The pages spoke of hope, of longing for unity with a sibling she lost to the winds of fate, mirroring Noah's own anguish. The weight of these realizations pressed heavily on his heart, and Noah could no longer ignore the feelings stirring inside him. He pictured his siblings, faces that had faded in his memory, but whose names lingered painfully at the edges of his consciousness. The thought of them sparked a flame of determination within him, igniting a desire to reach out and uncover the paths they had taken, hoping they were still in this world searching for the same connection. In that dimly lit container, surrounded by dust and shadows, Noah felt empowered for the first time. The diary transformed into not just a collection of pages, but a lifeline to a path he needed to embark upon. He was no longer just a boy longing to feel seen. He was ready to reclaim what had been lost. With the sun beginning to set, casting warm light over the container, Noah closed the diary gently, cradling it as he stood up. A sense of urgency coursed through him, pushing him toward action. This was a moment unlike any other, the turning point that would lead him beyond the suffocating confines of his past. He no longer wanted to be an echo, lost within a cacophony of silence. He wanted to uncover the truths that had been buried under the rubble of hope, to trace his family's story and perhaps intertwine it with his own again. Taking a deep breath, he pushed open the rusty container door and stepped outside, resolutely facing the twilight. The world was painted in shades of orange and purple, a backdrop for the journey ahead. In his heart, he felt the beginnings of a story unfolding, one that would lead him not only to rediscover himself but also to the loved ones he believed were worth fighting for. Noah took his first step forward, firmly establishing the foundation of a new chapter filled with determination, courage, and the unmistakable yearning for connection as he traversed into the unknown. With the diary clutched tightly in his hands, Noah stepped into the twilight, the fading light guiding him onward. He embraced the vibrant colors engulfing the sky, feeling the spark of determination ignite within him. Armed with fresh purpose, he sought to uncover the scattered pieces of his family. He longed for connection, to track down the siblings and parent he had lost. His first stop was the local library, a fortress of knowledge where countless stories lay waiting. Entering, he felt a familiar tranquility wash over him. Books lined the walls like silent sentinels, guardians of the past and present. Approaching the front desk, he spotted Mrs. Patel, the kind librarian who always seemed to sense when children needed help. "Can I help you, Noah?" she asked, her voice welcoming yet curious. "I'm looking for information on my siblings," he said, urgency lacing his words. "It's really important." With a knowing nod, Mrs. Patel guided him to the computer station, where records and documents lay hidden in the digital ether waiting for exploration. As he recounted what little he recalled, names, ages, any details that surfaced, Mrs. Patel began her search, typing furiously as he fought against anxious anticipation. Minutes slipped into what felt like hours until a flicker of hope ignited in her eyes. "I found something," she said, her tone tinged with excitement. Noah leaned closer as she turned the screen toward him. His heart raced as he read the names associated with his mother, connections brought forth by dusty records and faded ink. The thought of Daniel and Mia surged to the forefront of his mind, faces that had blended into his memory like watercolor lost in the rain. "Could we find more about my mom?" he asked, an ember of hope igniting again. "Of course," she replied, her fingers dancing over the keyboard once more. Together they unearthed snippets of his family history buried within the archives. As each listing appeared, Noah felt the weight of his quest begin to lighten, their shared past becoming tangible in front of his eyes. With his heart ablaze with new information, he departed from the library, clutching the papers like lifelines against an uncertain future. A varied mix of emotions coursed through him as he retraced steps through the neighborhood, past the school he once attended, now a ghost of joyous memories flickering on the edges of his mind. Drawing closer to the first address listed, his pulse quickened as he approached a modest house cloaked in shadows. The silhouette of its familiar outline sent shivers coursing through him. This was where they had once laughed and played, a sanctuary turned into an emblem of loss. With cautious determination, Noah approached the door, his hand lingering before knocking. With each rap on the wood, his heart raced. The echo resonated in the gathering stillness, a symphony of uncertainty. Would they remember him? Would someone open the door? Time seemed to stretch interminably until a soft creak announced the door's movement, revealing a woman whose features mirrored his own. The weight of recognition hung in the air between them. "Can I help you?" Her voice trembled slightly, her eyes scanning his face, searching for familiarity amid the years that had separated them. "Noah," he managed to say, the single word feeling both like an introduction and a long-lost reunion. In that moment, countless memories flooded back to him. The cherished laughter echoing through that very home, the warmth of shared moments now reclaimed. His journey had led him right to this threshold, and with a steady inhale, he stepped into a world ripe for reconnection. The past that had been severed began to interweave with the present, filling him with a palpable sense of hope as the door opened wider, inviting him to step back into a life he thought was lost forever. As he crossed the threshold, Noah knew that he stood on the brink of something transformative. He had begun to heal not only the wounds of his own heart, but also to reclaim the love and connection that had woven his family together in the first place. With every ounce of courage, he felt the power of unity rising within him, ready to forge a renewed bond filled with understanding and warmth. This moment was just the beginning. It was the dawn of a new era where loneliness would fade and the strength of family would flourish once more. As Noah stepped inside the familiar home, a whirlwind of emotions enveloped him. The living room, filled with shadows and dust, ignited faded memories. He could almost hear the echoes of playful banter that danced between the walls. The woman standing before him, who resembled a reflection of himself, was a striking presence. Her eyes, expressive yet guarded, were windows to his past, holding both warmth and uncertainty. "Mom," he whispered, the words slipping from his lips like a fragile hope. "Is it really you?" she asked, her voice trembling with disbelief. She stepped closer, examining Noah's face as if searching for remnants of her lost son. Her hands reached out, fingertips brushing against his cheek where the familiar warmth of connection sparked. "Yes, it's me," he said, tears welling in his eyes. To think that he had finally found her after years of feeling like an invisible thread, severed from his family. "I've been looking for you." The embrace that followed was tentative at first, both hesitating to truly believe in the reality of the moment. It was as if she feared he might dissolve into thin air if she held him too tightly. But as their arms encircled each other, warmth spread through Noah's chest, a lifeline sewn back together. "I thought I lost you forever," she whispered, her voice catching on the edge of longing. "After everything that happened, I never stopped searching. I never gave up hope." As they sank into the warmth of each other's presence, Noah felt the walls of his heart begin to crumble. Memories danced behind his eyes, glimpses of a family torn apart, promises whispered through the cracks of despair. He felt the weight of their shared grief, and yet in this moment, an ember of possibility flickered between them. "Where are Daniel and Mia?" he asked, his throat tightening. Although he was flooded with joy at finding her, anxiety clawed at his heart. "I need to know if they're okay." She looked down, the smile faltering for a brief moment. "It's been hard for all of us since the separation. Daniel, She paused, taking a breath to steady herself. "He was taken into a different home. I can't say I know where he is now." The revelation struck Noah like a lightning bolt, but curiosity overshadowed sorrow. "What about Mia? Is she here?" "Sweet Mia," she murmured, her eyes filling with a mixture of love and sorrow. "She's in a foster home too, not far from here. I've been trying to save enough to get her back." Determination surged within Noah. The pieces of his family were scattered, yet here was a chance to bring them back together, to mend the rift that had plagued their existence. "I want to help," he asserted, finding strength in sincerity. "We all deserve to be reunited. I'll do whatever it takes." The fire of hope ignited in his mother's eyes as she nodded firmly. "We can find them. Together." As they began to focus on the path ahead, they discussed leads, contacting old friends and organizations that might hold vital clues. Noah could hardly contain his excitement as they plotted how to traverse their way through the maze of bureaucracy that had kept them apart for so long. Days turned into a whirlwind of activity as they spent hours on the phone, delving into old records, and knocking on doors, their resolve electrifying the air around them. During quiet moments, they shared stories, filling in the gaps of lost time with laughter and tears. Noah learned of how fiercely she had fought to keep her family together and discovered the strength that had carried her through the darkest days of their separation. One evening, as they sifted through past photographs, Noah felt a sudden tug at his heart. He picked up a faded picture of all three siblings, arms around each other, grinning with joyful innocence. Longing washed over him, stirring an ache he had learned to repress. "Do you think Daniel remembers us?" he asked quietly, afraid to disturb the delicate balance of hope they had built. His mother's hand brushed against his shoulder, bringing him back to the present. "He does. He loved you both so much. And I believe he yearns for you just as you yearn for him." Fueled by this belief, Noah found himself planning a trip to the foster home where Mia lived. Every detail felt crucial. He envisioned the reunion, the warmth of family enveloping him as they embraced once again. With each passing hour, the dream drew nearer. Finally, the day arrived when they set out together towards that foster home. Noah's heart raced with anticipation as they drove through the familiar streets. Memories of childhood flooded back, the joys of shared laughter, the unbreakable bonds of siblinghood, and the unyielding belief that together they could conquer anything. When they arrived, the building towered in front of them, an institutional facade painted in muted colors. It stood as a reminder of challenges faced, but Noah was determined to shed the fear and trepidation that had burdened his heart for so long. They approached the front desk, where a kind woman greeted them. After explaining their mission, Noah felt the weight of his mother's reassuring grip on his shoulder. "Let's find Mia," he said, steeling himself for the moment they had both yearned for. Soon, footsteps echoed down the corridor, growing closer until the door swung open. In an instant, time seemed to suspend as a small girl appeared, her wide eyes wrapped in innocence and wariness. It was Mia, his baby sister, just as he had imagined her, even over the years of separation. "Mia," he breathed, tears welling in his eyes. The bond he felt with her was instantaneous and powerful, transcending the years they had spent apart. "What's happening?" Mia asked, looking between Noah and their mother, confusion etched on her face. Noah stepped forward, reaching out his arms. "It's okay, Mia. It's me, Noah. I'm back and this is Mom. We've come to take you home." Mia's eyes widened in shock, and after a moment, her face broke into a smile, illuminating the room with pure joy. "Noah! Mom!" She rushed forward, flinging her small arms around them in an embrace that felt like the completion of a missing piece. As the three of them held onto one another, Noah realized that this moment was not just a reunion, it was a reclamation of their family spirit. In that space, years of heartache faded, replaced with the undeniable strength of connection. They stood together, united in their shared past, celebrating the hope of a future anchored in love, resilience, and familial bonds that would never wane. In a world that had threatened to challenge their existence, they were finally together again, ready to face whatever storms lay ahead, unyielding in their commitment to one another. The journey of reconnection was only beginning, but Noah felt the warmth of family enveloping him, forging a path toward unity and healing that would last a lifetime. After embracing Mia, Noah felt a surge of warmth replace years of yearning. It was the beginning of a new chapter. "We're finally home," he whispered, holding both Mia and their mother close, their hearts beating in unison. The weeks that followed were filled with the joyful chaos of settling into their modest apartment. Each box unpacked revealed remnants of their past, both cherished and painful. Laughter echoed through the halls as they organized their lives, filling their home with memories yet to be made. But beneath the surface of joy, an undercurrent of anxiety lingered, the shadows of abandonment still framing their thoughts. Noah noticed his mother often gazing out the window, lost in thought. On one such evening, he mustered the courage to ask, "What are you thinking about?" "I think about the past," she replied quietly, her voice tinged with sorrow. "About the decisions I made. I just want us to move forward." "I understand, Mom," Noah assured her, squeezing her shoulder gently. "We'll face everything together." As they began to settle into a routine, they started attending family therapy sessions. Noah hoped it would serve as a safe haven to address their shared pain. The therapist guided them through tough conversations, encouraging openness. "What does being a family mean to each of you?" she asked one day. Mia, her innocent eyes wide, piped up, "It means we're all together. We love each other. Noah smiled at her, then added, "It means being there for each other, no matter how hard it gets." His mother nodded, tears welling, a mixture of gratitude and lingering grief washing over her. Given space to share their stories, they evolved deeper into understanding, creating a bond that transcended their past. Through sharing, they found healing. With every session, the stirrings of peace began to replace the unrelenting doubts that had blighted their lives. One day, after a particularly meaningful session, Noah suggested, "Why don't we have a family outing? Something that reminds us of what we're building together?" Both Mia and their mother agreed warmly. The following Saturday, they visited a local park, a place which had once been a sanctuary for them. As they walked beneath the sun's gentle rays, memories began to surface. Noah spotted the swings that had once held laughter and happiness. "Let's swing," he encouraged, and without hesitation, Mia ran to take her place on one. Noah pushed her higher, her joyous squeals ringing in the air. It was a sound he had missed deeply, the essence of childhood untainted by their past. Later, they picnicked on the grass, sharing sandwiches and stories, the mundane magic weaving them together in a tapestry of newfound hope. Despite their progress, remnants of their old lives surfaced unexpectedly. One evening, while cleaning, Noah came across a box filled with old letters and photographs. Curious, he gathered his family to share. "This was from when you were born," he said, holding up a tattered envelope that their mother recognized immediately. "Should we read it together?" His mother took a deep breath and nodded, letting nostalgia wash over her. As they read the words filled with love and hope, the past became less of a burden and more of a history they could embrace. "We were once so full of dreams," she said, wiping away tears. "I thought I lost that." "No, we're right here," Noah reassured her. "We can still dream together." Encouraged by their progress, they decided to begin work on a family scrapbook that would chronicle their story, the ups and downs that made them who they were. Each week, they would gather materials, compile photos, and write entries filled with emotions, creating a physical manifestation of their blended history. As time passed, they grew more cohesive. Movie nights turned into traditions filled with laughter, where the shadows of their pasts were momentarily forgotten as they focused on what it means to be present. One calm evening, while watching their favorite movie, Noah glanced at Mia and then at his mother. "I feel like we can do anything together," he declared, a smile breaking across his face. His mother's eyes glimmered with hope. "We're stronger than we know," she replied, wrapping an arm around them both. Eventually, they began to invite friends more often to their home, creating a network of positivity that replaced loneliness with community. Neighbors would bring food, and in turn, they celebrated milestones, birthdays, and ordinary days that turned into cherished memories over time. Yet as bright as their lives became, obstacles remained. Their journey to heal was still ongoing, and they carried pieces of hurt with them. In moments of silence, Noah felt the weight of those experiences pressing down on his soul. One night, after a dull day that felt heavier than most, Noah ventured to the balcony, standing still beneath the night sky. The stars twinkled above, each one a reminder of the possibilities that lay ahead. His mother joined him, sensing his unease. "What's on your mind?" "I just want to make sure we don't lose sight of who we are," he admitted. "We seem so happy, but I can't help but worry." His mother took a deep breath, her presence calm and reassuring. "We will face challenges, Noah, but together we can weather anything. We're family, and that's what matters most. We're stronger now." With her words echoing in his mind, Noah found solace. Their bond transcended their past, anchoring them to the future they were actively creating. As time went on, they filled their days with spontaneous outings, laughter, and love. They were growing, not just as individuals, but as a family. Together, they learned to forgive, to love fiercely, and to find joy in the little moments. On one special evening, Noah took Mia and their mother to the park again. As they sat under the stars, creating wishes to send into the night, Noah reflected on how far they had come. "Let's always remember to be there for each other," he declared. "Always," Mia chimed in, her innocence radiating joy and hope. As Noah looked at their little family, he understood that life was not just about overcoming difficulties, but finding the strength to share and grow together. They had emerged from the shadows, crafting a life that was filled with connection and resilience. For the first time in a long while, Noah felt ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. They would cherish the past, but would step boldly into their future, where love, acceptance, and family would reign supreme. This was their story. Beautiful, messy, and beautifully alive. And they were finally ready to live it to the fullest. As the weeks turned into months, Noah, Mia, and their mother found a joyful rhythm in their new life. Their apartment blossomed with laughter, the scent of cooking filling the air and the warmth of shared moments creating a sense of belonging. Noah embraced each day feeling like they were knitting together a vibrant tapestry of memories. One rainy Saturday morning, while flipping through the scrapbook they had been creating together, Noah felt inspired to celebrate Mia's upcoming birthday. "What if we throw a big party for you?" he suggested, excitement bubbling within him. "We could invite all your friends, eat cake, and have a treasure hunt just like you wanted." Mia's eyes sparkled at the idea, imagining all the vibrant colors and joyous sounds. "Yes, can we have balloons and music too?" she asked, her enthusiasm contagious. "Absolutely. We'll make it the best birthday ever," Noah replied, determination shining through. They wasted no time making preparations. Their mother joined in, her spirit rekindling as she saw the excitement in her children. Together they made a list of everything they needed, from decorations to party supplies. The atmosphere of anticipation filled their home, invigorating them all. On the day before the party, Noah decided to take Mia to a local bakery known for its delicious cakes. "Let's pick out the best one for your special day," he said. They quickly made their way through the busy streets, the raindrops tapping lightly on their umbrella as they chatted about the upcoming celebration. Upon entering the bakery, the array of colorful cakes made Mia's eyes widen. They settled on a bright, layered cake, decorated with sprinkles and a happy birthday message. Content with their decision, they left the bakery, carrying the cake as if it were the most precious treasure. As they walked past a nearby park, Mia tugged on Noah's sleeve. "Can we go play there for a little? Please." Noah chuckled, recognizing the glimmer in her eyes. "Sure, but just for a bit, he agreed, sensing the importance of enjoying this moment. They ran to the park, the rain having subsided, leaving the air fresh and crisp. As Noah watched Mia swing higher and higher, laughter bubbled up within him. Her joy was a powerful antidote to the shadows of their past. Nearby, a group of children were playing tag. They looked like they were having the time of their lives. Watching them, Noah felt a pang of realization. Mia had missed out on so much joy and friendship. She hadn't experienced the carefree moments of childhood that he had known. "Do you want to join them?" he asked, feeling a sudden surge of determination. "Yes," Mia exclaimed, her excitement palpable. They approached the group together, and Noah felt a mix of hope and nervousness. "Hi, I'm Mia. Can I play with you?" she asked, her voice full of enthusiasm. The children welcomed her, and soon they were running, laughing and bonding in the way that only childhood friendships could forge. Noah beamed with pride as he watched Mia, her face lit up with pure joy, reminding him of how important it was for her to connect with others. The days leading up to Mia's birthday were filled with fun and activity. When the big day arrived, their apartment was an explosion of color, with balloons floating everywhere and a cake that promised sweetness. "Happy birthday, Mia," Noah and their mother sang, the room swelling with love as rays of sunlight streamed through the windows, bathing everything in warmth. Mia's face was priceless, eyes wide, mouth agape. "It's amazing," she cried, jumping up and down. As the guests arrived, the living room morphed into a playground of laughter and joy. Noah ensured that everyone felt included, showing them games and activities. The treasure hunt was a hit, and Mia led her friends with confidence, her happiness thriving in this celebration of her life. When it was cake time, she stood at the center of the room, surrounded by friends. "Make a wish," Noah encouraged, his heart swelling with pride as he watched her concentrate. After she blew out the candles, everyone erupted into cheers. "What did you wish for?" one friend asked, her curiosity piqued. Mia beamed, a grin stretching across her face, but simply shrugged, keeping the magic of the moment. After the excitement began to wind down, Noah turned to his mother, gazing at Mia with warmth in his heart. "This was everything she wanted," he said softly, filled with gratitude. His mother nodded, wiping away a tear. "You've created something beautiful for her. I'm proud of the person you've become." As the celebration slowly came to an end, Noah felt fulfilled, knowing they had created cherished memories together. Their bond had deepened. They were thriving, not just surviving, but cherishing every moment and supporting one another wholeheartedly. In the days that followed, they ventured into more adventures, exploring parks and nature trails, breathing in the vibrancy of life. Each day brought new connections, a joy that bridged the past and anchored them firmly in the present. One evening, after a delightful day of exploration, they settled on the couch. Mia snuggled between them as Noah reflected on their journey. "We're a family," he said, realization hitting him. "Yes, we are," his mother echoed, and they shared a moment of silent understanding. Noah realized that it wasn't just about overcoming difficulties. It was about weaving joy and love into their lives. Each experience moved them further away from their past and planted them firmly in a future bright with possibilities. As he watched Mia's eyes flutter with sleep, Noah felt a deep sense of peace. They had forged something truly special together, a family committed to facing whatever life threw their way. Here, in their small, cozy apartment, love anchored their hearts, creating a haven where they could dream and grow as one. With every passing day, Noah welcomed the challenges ahead, confident in the strength of the family they had constructed. This was just the beginning of their story, beautifully imperfect, stitched together with resilience, laughter, and the unwavering support of love. Together, they would embrace every adventure, building the life they had longed for, joyfully unfolding like the pages of their own unique narrative. As the days turned into weeks and the weeks into months, Noah, Mia, and their mother settled more comfortably into their new lives. They created routines that blended spontaneity and stability, finding joy in small moments that brightened their days. Each weekend became an opportunity for adventure, whether it was discovering a new park or sharing a meal in their favorite diner. Mia blossomed remarkably. Her laughter rang through the apartment, lifting the spirits of anyone who entered. Her newfound friendships flourished, bringing her playmates to their home for craft days filled with colorful paints and gleeful giggles. As Noah observed her vibrant spirit, he felt a deep sense of fulfillment. In the evenings, they would gather together for family dinners. On one particular night, Noah noticed Mia using her hands to shape a batch of cookie dough. "These are going to be the best cookies ever," she exclaimed, her eyes lighting up with excitement. "Let me help," Noah replied, rolling up his sleeves and joining her at the counter. They created the cookie dough together, flour flying and laughter bubbling as Mia playfully flourished the kitchen with sprinkles. Their mother entered, drawn by the cheerful commotion. "What's going on in here?" she asked with a smile. "Mia is making cookies," Noah replied, grinning. "Can we taste the dough?" Mia asked, her eyes wide in innocent hope. "Of course," their mother responded, laughing at the delight that radiated from both kids. They indulged in spoonfuls of cookie dough, savoring the sweet moments that pulled their family closer together. As the cookies baked, the sweet aroma wafting through the apartment created an atmosphere thick with warmth. They set the table with care, adorning it with their best dishes, making it a small celebration of life and togetherness. Once the cookies were ready, they arranged them on a plate, each decorated with icing and sprinkles, a testament to their joint creativity. The impromptu snack turned into a tradition, one that nourished not only their bodies but their hearts. As the summer approached, they decided to go camping for a weekend, a plan that excited Mia to no end. "We can roast marshmallows and tell stories around the campfire," she squealed, bouncing on her feet. Noah and their mother prepared for the trip, packing essentials as well as Mia's favorite stuffed animal for comfort. As they drove to the campsite, Noah marveled at the picturesque landscape, the trees casting shadows that danced across the road. Mia chatted away, sharing her plans for adventures in nature. Upon arriving, they set up their tent beneath the stars, the night sky sprawling above them like a blanket of diamonds. Noah felt a thrill of excitement as they nestled in for the night, warmth enveloping them as they gathered close. With the campfire crackling beside them, they roasted marshmallows, each bite enveloped in sweetness, laughter echoing in the night. "Tell me a story about when you were a kid," Mia urged, her eyes sparkling with wonder. Noah recounted tales of mischievous adventures, thrilling escapades that made them laugh until their sides ached. His mother joined in, sharing memories that combined warmth and lessons from her own childhood. As the fire glowed low, they sat in a comfortable silence, appreciating the serenity of the natural world around them. "This is perfect," Mia whispered, her voice soft and content. Noah smiled at the serenity. They had carved out a piece of happiness that felt real, tangible. In that moment, surrounded by love and understanding, he could see the beautiful woman Mia was becoming, a hopeful, adventurous spirit ready to take on the world. As they crawled into the tent to sleep under the stars, Noah felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude. He knew that while challenges would come, the resilience they had built together would guide them through. They were not just surviving, they were living fully, embracing every moment with open hearts, In the midst of his dreams, Noah intuitively understood that this was life's greatest adventure, loving, laughing, and sharing the journey alongside those who mattered most. Together, they were creating a beautiful legacy, a family story that was still unfolding, filled with laughter, hope, and endless possibilities.